This is my final video on the 19th century Napoleon III Ebonized Boulle style tortoiseshell and brass cabinet. Now there is a playlist of how we have restored this cabinet. The link will be in the description. For those of you who haven't already seen the Boulle cabinet. But as you can see, it is in terrible condition, and it's really quite sad to see something that should be in a palace that was just put out to be dumped. Now the first thing we found when we took the door off was the hinge was broken, and where the stretcher across the bottom is attached, it goes right through where the brass strips are meant to be, and then they glued it, totally misaligned it, and you've got a big step there, so there hasn't been a piece of brass in that corner for a long time. So we did re-glue the stretcher at the bottom, and we've started to cut out our brass strips that are missing, and we will chisel out that channel at the bottom, which you can see on the previous videos how we did that. But it's looking pretty good now. We've got the brass back in place, all glued in. And then we moved on to the medallion on the front, where the brass halo that goes around was missing, so we've had to curve and make the brass for that. Any pieces that are sticking up, we just cleaned out all the old glue, and we stuck the brass back in place, just using a hide glue. We were using tight bond here because it just gives you a little bit more of a window before the glue starts to set, and that way we can get everything in place. Now we just use our spring sticks to keep sticking everything down, and every day we just kept plodding away, sticking down more brass, and then just clamping it all down, and we've got a nice flat even surface. Now I bought some brass online, some 3 and 4 millimeter. And you can see how we put the curve in the brass in the previous videos of this restoration. And we just use our spring sticks again, just to hold everything in place. Now when we came to the base being closer to the ground was so dry. Everything had just dried out, all the glue, and somebody had stuck on the support blocks on the front in the wrong position, and the apron was sitting too far forward, which was making the castles on the corner rock. So we cleaned all the glue. We're putting some new hide glue, and we will re-glue those castles on the corner, and they won't move again. Now we just had a roller here. This is how we were bending our brass. We've got 3 serpentine shape strips that we have to bend, and I just annealed the brass here by heating it up and just letting it cool down, which makes the brass more malleable and it's easier to bend. So our first serpentine strip at the bottom is clamped and glued, and then we've done our second one, and then we have some strips to make at the top which we'll just mitre in and get those clamped and glued. And this is how we were bending our brass, just into the shape that we need. And clamp and glue again. Now you can see how we polished the base in the previous videos. We used titanium black oxide with blonde shellac. Now the sides were in appalling condition. They were split, they were cracked. They'd been re-glued with modern adhesive, and we just could not get that apart at all. And there were just scratches and divots. It was terrible. And all the brass has come off and it's loose and missing. So we'll remove all the mouldings, all the bronzes, and you can see the little nail at the bottom that they've just nailed in and bent it over to hold the brass in place as well. Now this block at the top, the castle, we have no idea what happened here. It just fell off. And yeah, how did that end up being like that? I don't know. The only thing that was holding it on was the brass frieze at the top. And again, we just keep clamping down anything that's loose, anything that's popping up. And then we have to get our brass strips out. I just get a utility blade and just scribe down each side of the brass strip just to try and break that bond. And sometimes these are glued in with epoxy, which can make it very, very difficult to get them out. We just don't want any breakaway of the veneer. And if they don't move, then we'll just have to use a little bit of heat. We just get the utility blade on a 45°, and then gently it just pops up. And you can see the nail on the bottom there that they've bent over. So the brass has been sticking out at some stage, and they've just, I'll just put a nail in it and bend it over, and that'll do the job. And this nail has been in a long time, I would say 100 years. And the brass strip is too long as well, so there has been shrinkage, and the brass does not shrink, so we will cut about 1 or 2 millimeters off the mitre, and we got it out. And again, we've got a little bit of epoxy here. We can just cut it out with the blade without getting any tear out. And there's quite a lot of spring on this one. And that is definitely not very flat. And just when we think we've got one piece we won't have to take out, the glue has dried up underneath. You can feel it here. So we'll take this one out as well. So basically we've done all 16. We've taken all 16 strips out of both sides and clamped them all down. And that black ebonized finish is terrible. You feel it with your fingers. It's like the surface of the moon. It's just got craters in it everywhere. Now that big split, every day we just keep injecting black shellac into that crack, and over about a week it will fill. Every day we just keep putting a bit more in to keep filling it. And the strip that was thrown inside the cupboard, we will straighten that out and we'll put that piece back in as well. And just keep clamping down. You can see the strip here is too long and it's pushed away and broken it at the bottom there, you can see. So we'll have to cut that mitre as well. I would say that the wood has shrunk but the brass hasn't, and that's why that happened over the years. And there is some sort of glue here as well, where they've tried to stick it down. And we have got a little bit of a breakout there, but we can glue that piece in later. You just got to be patient when you're taking out brass, just a little bit at a time. And then we clean all those channels out with hot water and a toothbrush. Just look in the previous videos to see how we do that. We're getting there now though. Now we bought some more 24 karat gold to do all the frieze work and all the motifs and those beautiful lady statues, those bronzes. And we will give all this a good brush back tomorrow. Brush all the flaky gold off and burnish them up. And we are making some of our own beeswax. We just want the wax to be as light as possible when we're polishing the black on the sides. I just heat the beeswax up, add some turpentine, and that just makes it easier to apply. And then scrape all the crud off the top when it dries, and then we'll do this process again. I'm not going to film waxing the sides because it will take the best part of a day and it can get a bit boring just watching black. So this is the crud we scrape off, and then we heat it up again and we scrape again, and we've got ourselves a nice natural beeswax. So that's just about it. We are going to be doing the reveal now. It's taken 3 months to restore this piece. It has been quite a long one. But there she is. All finished. And the black is black. It is so deep, the colour. It is quite hard to film outdoors. absolutely thrilled with the results. Now the oak back we just finished in some orange flake shellac, just tied it all up, and those big splits in the side, you can hardly see them now. Like a mystic mirror, the black mystic mirror. We did clean out all the inside and used orange flake shellac with some wax as well, and we'll just lean it backwards and then you can get a better view of what it looks like. It really does look a lot better in real life. Such a hard colour to film. So that is just about it now for this restoration. If you want to see more, check out the previous videos. We will have more interesting stuff coming up, so stay tuned, like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.